Tsar tank. Let's start big. Like 2 front wheels 9 meters tall big. The Tsar tank looked like a Victorian bicycle that hit the gym and declared war. The idea was cute. Giant wheels to hop trenches. The physics? Cruel. Weight stacked in the tail, the little rear roller dug into mud, and the whole contraption became a garden statue with guns. It rolled a bit, posed for photos, bogged down, credits. Engineers sweated. Gravity giggled. Guns? Fine on paper. Armor? Meh. Mobility? Only in imagination. The center of mass said, good luck. The truss flexed like a cheap diving board. And every shot promised to rattle your aim. It cost, it complicated, it didn't fight. Worst trade-off of all, too much steel for 0 victories. I love the audacity. I worship the lessons. Bigger isn't better if your turning circle needs a province and your rear wheel is a shovel. When you need a crane to reposition your prototype, that's not a tank, it's an event. The next one is only beautiful in the drawings, but depressing in the trenches.
Saint-Chamond. Saint-Chamond, the World War I tank that brought a sword to a staircase, long, boxy hull, tracks that stop early like they forgot payday, and a nose that wants to be a snowplow. On paper, it's clever. Petrol-electric drive, big crew, a proper French 75 in the snout. In mud, it's slapstick. The overhang digs, the tail hangs, and trenches say, after you. Mobility rating? Excellent, if roads are dry, flat, and fictional. That glorious 75? Deadly when the target is exactly ahead. The casemate has stingy traverse, so if the enemy stands 5 degrees off, you rotate the whole baguette. Side armor is diet thin. Belly clearance is a rumor, and the transmission turns the crew compartment into a sauna with gears. Vision slits? Like peeking through a mailbox while steering a bus. Could it smash a barn? Absolutely. Could it cross the thing the war was about? Trenches? Not without a photographer and a tow rope. Just complexity and 0 chill in rough ground. Chef's disaster. Close your eyes. Corrugated sides. Tractor heart. No turret. More nationalism than steel. The shed on tracks rolls in.
Bob Semple! Behold the Bob Semple, a tractor wearing a shed as armor. New Zealand looked at invasion panic and said, fine, we'll DIY a tank. Take a crawler tractor. Bolt on corrugated iron, cut little loopholes for machine guns, add a roof that looks allergic to aerodynamics, and pray the enemy dies of laughter. Top heavy? Oh, absolutely. Speed? Tractor. Ride quality? Shopping cart on gravel. Crew comfort? Imagine 7 friends crammed in a tin sauna, shouting through engine noise, trying not to trip over ammo boxes. Visibility is peek through a letter slot. Firepower is mostly pew-pew in every direction, which is cute until someone asks for armor that's, armor. The whole thing wobbles when you steer, groans when you stop, and threatens to fall over if you glare at a side slope. Was it brave? Yes. Was it a tank? Spiritually, it never saw real combat. And that's the success story. Sometimes the smartest battlefield decision is not to show up. File it under National Emergency Cosplay. Now picture the next disaster. Rivets that become shrapnel, thin plates that sunburn, sand-eating engines, desert theater, dramatic breakdowns.
Armato M1340. Caro Armato M1340. The medium tank that showed up to the Sahara with peacetime optimism. Riveted plates, thin armor, call it up to 30 millimeters if you round up, and a 47 millimeter pop gun that bullied early cruisers and then cried at Matildas and Grants. Diesel V8? Sensible until the sand turned air filters into cat litter and the gearbox discovered drama. Narrow tracks dug in, dunes laughed. Crew life was a sitcom, 2-man turret, so the commander also gunned, coached, and did PR. Radios? Sometimes. Otherwise, it's hand signals and hope. In noon heat, the optics went mirage, loaders slow-baked, and that beautiful desert light highlighted every rivet waiting to turn into indoor hail when the plate got smacked. North Africa taught quick lessons. Add sand shields. Bring tow cables. Beware British 2-pounders with attitude. Could the 47 punch something? Sure, if it was light, close, and cooperative. Against real armor, you needed numbers, luck, or both. It cost less than a superstar, but it also performed like a budget matinee. Now picture the next mistake. Smaller, faster, feather light, armor you could insult, jungle-friendly temperament, rifle-shy soul. Type 95 Hago! The jungle sprinter with paper pajamas. 7-ish tons, skinny as a promise, and a 37 millimeter pop gun up front. Against infantry and trucks, chef's kiss. Against anything armored after 1942, therapy. Armor so thin that a mean 50 cal could audition for anti-tank. Riveted plates too, so when a round smacks the hull, the rivets become indoor hail. Fun. Why it seems smart? Light, cheap, easy to ship to islands, diesel that didn't crave avgas, and track tracks that tiptoed over bad trails. In China or early Pacific fights, it bullied soft targets and felt fast and clever. Crew life though? Commander equals gunner equals babysitter, because two-man turret. Radio's often optional, so hand signals and optimism carried the day. Gun depression was meh, optics were basic, and the little 37 struggled to scare even a late-war half-track. By 44, the matchup was comedy. Meet Sherman, meet Bazooka, meet We're on Fire. It's the poster child for design frozen in the wrong year, great at yesterday, doomed by tomorrow. Now imagine a British cousin, low, tidy, handsome on paper, and chronically allergic to heat. Coolant drama, workshop tan, combat shy by design.
A13 Mk III, Covenanter. The British cruiser tank that mastered one skill, getting hot at the wrong time. On paper, sleek and speedy. In reality, radiators stuffed into tight spaces, coolant lines playing twister, and airflow that forgot to exist. Results? Overheat, boil, sulk, repeat. It spent the war mostly at home, training, because sending it to hot climates would be performance art. Armor? Thin-ish. Main gun, 2-pounder, snappy AP, practically no HE, so it bullied light armor and then stared awkwardly at anything needing blast. Suspension liked to argue, access panels loved to hide, and the engine decided your workday. Crews learned new words for temperature and old words for walk. When it did run, it could scoot until the thermostat staged a coup. The vibe is classic wrong trade-off. Elegant silhouette, chronic thirst for cool air, and logistics that needed a fan club. Commanders wanted a Sabre. They got a space heater with tracks. The only thing it dominated was the maintenance schedule. Picture what's rolling next. Taller hull, side gun like a balcony, turret stacked on top, part tank, part apartment building. All, please don't crest that ridge like that. M3 Lee Grant. Meet the M3 Lee Grant, America's skyscraper tank with a balcony gun. Tall hull, side-mounted 75mm in a sponson, and a little turret on top with a 37mm like a rooftop patio. The idea? Get a big gun to the desert fast, turret later. The reality? You crest a ridge and present a billboard. Every anti-tank gun in North Africa says thank you. That 75 could punch early war armor, sure, but only across a narrow arc. Enemy 5 degrees off? Rotate the entire building. The top turret meant the commander was busy playing gunner, and the crew count, 6 or 7 depending, turned the interior into a cramped elevator lobby during rush hour. Riveted plates? Early ones, yes, so hit sprinkled spall confetti. The transmission could whine, the silhouette could not hide, and the whole thing looked like a duplex on tracks. Credit where it's due, it was reliable, had radios, carried lots of HE, and showed up in numbers when numbers mattered. But compared to lower, sleeker rivals, it was a loud compromise. Quick to field, slow to duck. Now think bigger, way bigger. Steel obesity, bridges panic, range, bring a tugboat. The heaviest doorstop Europe almost had. Panzer VIII Maus, the heaviest tank that mostly fought gravity. Picture a steel apartment with a 128mm main gun and a 75mm riding shotgun. Armor? Obscene. Mobility? Bring a calendar. Bridges took one look and updated their wills. It needed special crossings, special rail gear, special everything, because when your curb weight scares infrastructure, you're not a field weapon, you're a civil engineering project. Logistics laughed, then cried. Fuel thirst like a small village, tracks that mauled roads, and a maintenance crew that should have billed by the hour. Air power? Its mortal enemy. You can't hide a barn with a barrel. Bombers love that. 2 prototypes waddled. Battlefield impact? Mostly mythology. As a tech demonstrator, interesting. As a tank, it's a museum that moves slowly. And yes, someone pitched the P-1000 Ratte, a battleship on tracks daydream the size of a neighborhood. Guns galore, practicality zero. The war didn't need monuments. It needed mobility, numbers, and fuel that reached Tuesday. Verdict? Armor fetish, logistics horror, strategy fail. If your plan requires re-landscaping Europe, you don't have a tank. You have urban planning. Imagine the next headache. Light hull, aluminum skin, big gun that also fires missiles. Clever on paper, temperamental in real life. F551 Sheridan, the airdroppable light tank that promised James Bond and delivered Gremlin daycare. Aluminum hull, light, also flammable, and a 152mm gun launcher that shot the Shillelagh missile when the electronics felt extroverted. Concept, parachute with the 82nd, swim rivers, snipe tanks from ambush. Reality, brutal recoil, unseated optics, combustible cases cooked off, and the missile was a fussy diva about alignment and weather. In Vietnam, it mostly lobbed HE at bunkers. Effective, yes, while crews improvised armor, sandbags, and superstition. Against mines and RPGs, the aluminum spalled like angry glitter. Amphibious
this kit? Cute party trick. Maintenance? Bring coffee. You'll meet every panel bolt personally. Later in Panama and early Desert Storm, it still worked as a loud scalpel, but the magic missile rarely showed. Plain heat did the chores. Mobility was sweet. Reliability played hard to get. It was a bold answer to the wrong exam. Light, lethal on slides, temperamental on Tuesdays. Airdrop hero, motor pool therapist. Now, squint at the sequel. Same missile obsession, bigger hull, low squat turret stuffed with electronics, and a maintenance manual thick enough to stop a sabot, because of course we doubled down.
X-68-2 Starship, the M60 that went to space camp. Low, chunky turret with the 152mm M162 gun/launcher, laser rangefinder, night sights, and more cables than a 90s LAN party. Dream. Fire the Shillelagh missile at long range. Use fat conventional rounds up close. Ride into the future on electronics. Day job. Babysit finicky boxes, chase leaks, and explain to mechanics why the turret looks like a printer farm. Conventional ballistics were meh. Short, low-velocity gun means lobbing barn doors. Missile gear 8 volume, so ammo count was sad. Reliability? When the stars aligned, it was brilliant. The other 29 days? Downtime. Crews loved the laser in sight picture. They did not love yanking components for calibration like they were diffusing a VCR. Unit cost wasn't insane, but ONS made accountants rehearse deep breathing. Many A2s were rebuilt into saner variants because fleets prefer working cool over theoretical cool. It's the poster child for tech sprinting ahead of maintenance reality, ahead of its time and out of patience. Now roll the tape on the export roulette. Same silhouette, cheaper armor, weaker ammo, training trimmed, plus an autoloader that stores doom under your elbows. T-72 Export! T-72 is a spectrum. From scary domestic models to export diet versions. The Iraqi Lion of Babylon sat near the bottom. Downgraded armor, shaky QC, basic sights, and crews rushed through training. The Carousel autoloader parks propellant around the turret ring. Cool packaging, terrible when the hull is hit. Jack-in-the-box turret launches are not a magic trick. They're physics plus bad stowage. On paper, low silhouette, decent punch, fast reloads. In desert reality, against thermals and modern APFSDS, ouch. Many had steel or simple laminate instead of the good sandwiches. Era fit inconsistently, and ammo discipline went on vacation. Add dust-eaten engines, weak fire control, and doctrine that demanded frontal confidence, and you get burning lessons on live TV. Is every T-72 bad? No. Well-kept later variants with proper armor, optics, and crews are serious. But export plus shortcuts plus training gaps equals tragic headlines. War exposes the cheapest corner you cut. Finally, Cord. The worst tanks aren't the ugliest. They're the ones whose trade-offs lie to their own battlefield. If it can't move reliably, see clearly, or survive a first mistake, it's not a weapon, it's a waiting room.
See the next video.
B-36 Peacemaker. The bomber with a wingspan so huge it practically had its own area code. Built back when crossing an ocean still felt like serious protection. If you've watched this far, don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and tell me which of these tanks you'd take for a ride with your family.